Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. Happy Wednesday to you. Halfway through the working week if you work a Monday to Friday. But if you don't work a Monday to Friday, which is probably the vast majority of people these days, then it's not halfway through the week. But we still think of it as halfway through the week, so I will continue that thread. Okay, so I hope you're all well and you've had a great day. And you're looking forward to some great price action analysis. I will do my best to fulfill that. And if you enjoy it at any point in the video, please like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. And if you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. And leave me a comment and say, Simon, the video wasn't very good. It wasn't very helpful. I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, and you gave me A, B, and C. Do that. And if you've enjoyed it, a comment is always appreciated. With helpful suggestions, of course, please do so. Anyway, this is a daily chart, and I'm just going to quickly talk about 50% and the logic behind it. So you can see, so my video, so this is today's candle here. So on low volatility day. Yesterday, the wick low was pretty much 69,000, which has not been breached, and at the moment has not been closed below, with just under 4 hours remaining in the day. And that also corresponds to about 50% of this move up. Now, you hear me talk a lot about 50%, right? And what you don't hear me talk a lot about is Fibonacci, because it just doesn't ring my bell, so to speak, Fibonacci. Now, that will be sort of making people who are interested in Fibonacci want to kill me. And, you know, fair enough. We're all different and we all like different things when we're looking at charts and trading. I just prefer the 50% thing. I think it's simpler. And I'll demonstrate with a couple of really simple drawings. Because the whole premise of my trading is trend, because that's your friend, oh yeah, and then support resistance, which act as stop losses and profit taking areas. Then it's very useful. So I'll show you why the 50% is useful. Okay, just with some silly little drawings. So bear with me a moment. Get my trusty pen out or brush. Never really considered myself a painter. I seem to have a brush in my hand. Let's get rid of the MACD for now. Give myself a bit more space. So, just think about this, okay? So you have a move up. You then have a move down, but it goes beyond the 50% mark. You then have a move up that goes beyond the 50% of that move down. You then have a move down that goes beyond 50% of the previous move up. And you have a move up that goes beyond 50% of the move down, etc., etc. I'm not doing it very accurately now. And that could go on for infinity with your smaller and smaller moves. And what that isn't is a trend, because you have both. People will describe it as a shape, whatever. But what it's not is a trend. You've got a high, then lower high, lower high, lower high, lower highs, and then you've got a low, and high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows. So it's trendless. That's what that is. And so in a strategy, and markets are based on trends. That they're either uptrends or downtrends. Bull markets or bear markets. There is no way that a product, whatever you want to call it, commodity, whatever, could trade if it described a movement thus for any more than very short periods of time. So that is why I talk about 50% a lot, because to avoid this situation, for a trend to form, then the gains in the case of an uptrend, to the upside must exceed the losses to the downside. And 50% is obviously a convenient marker. So I hope you understood that. That's my simple brain, and that fits in with the way I think about trend and price action, and it helps. So that's why I do it. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, this is pretty much 50% pullback of this move up. Doesn't mean it can't go back further. Of course it doesn't. Come back wherever it wants. But it's a good point of reference to have, because if you start to get a sequence of daily closures, excuse me, and particularly the time frame above the one you're looking at, so a weekly closure, back below 69,000, well, that would then suggest that this uptrend is at least pausing, if not indeed reversing. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to get the MACD back up so you can see the momentum, which is here, and it's still securely up, and it's even a couple of $1,000 using this amazing indicator that's free on TradingView, away from turning down and going red. Interestingly, the weekly has that had a closure in the green. So it's this week. So if this week closes with sufficient upside, that will turn green. And you can see, when it turns green on the weekly, the MACD, you tend to get some serious moves. Not always. There was a small one that wasn't, well, that was a bit of a move, but it's generally a good signal that there's going to be more upside, rather than just what has already occurred. And so yeah, and then I'm going to switch down to the 4 hour. The 4 hour, again, MACD is securely up, and there's no divergence yet. I'm not suggesting that the MACD is the best divergence indicator, and I'll look for some divergences on the other momentum indicators at some point, but I'm not doing that this evening. And this is still quite far away from the zero line, so I'd say momentum is still securely to the upside on the daily and 4 hour, which to me are probably the most two powerful time frames to be looking at. I'd start, and I've still got this trend line on. Of course, this is 45 degrees, so that's one of Gann's favorite orders or rates of change for trends, and you can see that price could pull back a significant amount and still maintain this uptrend, a higher low anywhere. I would say this is on the 4 hour and probably the daily. You wouldn't want it to be higher on any higher time frames than that, but a pullback anywhere between probably the midpoint really, but the longer that this continues on, the higher by definition the next higher low will need to be. So I would say right now that anywhere basically where I'm putting this little circly circle, in fact, why not just draw one on? Let's just do a random prediction for where the next higher low is going to come in. I'll leave it on, see what happens. I'm not going to leave it on forever though, so if Bitcoin just goes sideways, then it doesn't become relevant. I seem to be doing a lot of whittering in this video, so apologies for that. But yeah, I'd say it's a bit in a balance now as to whether or not the next move is to the upside or not. And I think the way to maybe get some clarity on that one is to look at this rather monumental sideways range on the 15-minute. So for me, this demonstrates nicely. If you can have probably hourly or 4-hourly closures, or if Bitcoin has back below 69,000 is the same thing, then that would mean that the pullback is the next move. And really, yeah, 70,500. So certainly hourly, maybe 4-hourly closures. No, maybe hourly, but certainly 4-hour closures back above 70,500, and potentially there'll be a move to the upside first. I won't be surprised if it retests at 72, and then we'll see, So I hope you've enjoyed that video. I hope it was useful, and I'll just remind you, if you have, please like and subscribe. No, I don't want to leave the site. Looks like a little face here too, doesn't it? With 2 eyes and a big mouth going like this. See if I can recreate it. I'm going a bit mad now, so I obviously need a bit of sleep. Yeah, if you want to see me tomorrow, maybe a bit less mad, then do join me. And if you don't want to, less mad or the same madness, then don't come back. Because I'll be doing it all again for Thursday's Bitcoin price action. Take care and enjoy what's left of your Wednesday. Goodbye.